Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. Welcome back. This is part 2 of the Packet series. Last week, we did Network 105. What is it? And we kind of figured out what it was and played around. And we had Mr. Lon Seidman on from Lon.tv. At the very end of the show, I was able to get it to work on my Linux machine, a Raspberry Pi 4. And it was kind of an interesting setup. I don't like the way that it's working, but it is working, and that's kind of important. I have Direwolf running as root. I'm not going to mess with that part tonight. We're going to try and go a little bit deeper on what we can actually do with it now that we have it set up. And Jim and I were able to connect earlier today. I've got more power this time. I was at 5 watts last week, maybe 10 watts last week, but now I'm at 100 watts. So good to have you all back here, and hopefully you have your machines up with your favorite Packet AX.25 systems connected, and we'll try and connect to each other and node around the world together. How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing fine. I am greeting the people.
The masses.
Right. The masses.
If you guys haven't seen this show before, we don't know what we're doing. We're all just hanging out together and hoping to learn something by the end of this. And if something does come up, I'll probably make a shorter video about it. So be subscribed for that.
I'm subscribed. I can't wait.
Yeah, I hope I learned something that I can share with you guys. Yeah,
right.
That'd be awesome.
Today
the geekiest
I learned how to tie
here.
my
Welcome.
slip-on shoes.
Right. My New Balance with the Velcro straps.
Right. Hello, Chuck
Magic
Schultz.
smoke.
I'm getting tired of typing hi
Engaged.
to everybody, so I'm just going to do verbals.
Cliff, he said masses. Masses. How you heard that is your business.
I thought I might have said muggles accidentally.
No, these guys aren't muggles. These guys are nerds, just like us. Except for this one guy. He's a geek.
The geekiest guy, right?
Watched him package up that new amp and ship it to me.
Oh, son, you need to put down the Maui Wowie, really, because too much weed.
All right. Brian Hendricks, membership milestone super chat. If you're a member, you get one of these for free every month. He has been a member for 9 months. Another month of madness. Thank you very much, Brian. Glad to have you on board. And before the show started, we had a super chat from my buddy Shane, Adventures in Blind Videography, $1.99. Thank you very much, Shane. That's awesome.
Appreciate it,
Why
fellas.
are we... Ron wants to know why we're starting early. Ron, you're just here on time this week, my friend.
Ron don't get up till like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock Central Time, because I'm always seeing him say, "Hey, good morning, fellas," like after I get back from lunch.
Well, he is retired.
I hate him for that.
Right.
Very jealous.
So this is the machine from last week. It is running Debian Bullseye, which is technically Raspberry Pi OS. Raspberry Pi 4 Model B Rev 1.4. It's been up for about an hour now because that's, seat of the pants. We just got this thing up and running. And she's away we go. So what I had to do last week, I'm going to sudo-i to become root. And that puts me in the root's home directory. You have to have your Direwolf software installed if you're on Linux, or you can use it on Windows too. That's the W in Direwolf. It's Windows or Linux, WOLF. Windows or Linux. Direwolf's actually an acronym if you didn't know that. Inside of your Direwolf config, you need to set up a couple of things. A record -L is going to show me all of my sound cards, and it's going to tell me that card 3, device 0, is my USB audio. And since it's the only one, I guess it's the only one we're going to do. So let me look at my Direwolf config, and I'll share that with you. Device.
Chris Bricker is asking if that's the 8 gig Pi 4, and I'm betting it's not because Steve's too cheap to buy that one.
I don't know. Let me check it out after a second. A device plug HW3, 0. Let's go over to the other window. And no, it is the 8 gig model, Jim.
Sweet. Jesus, I wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah.
But now we were talking before the show, and you said this stuff will all run just fine on your grandpa's Pi 0.
This will run on a Commodore 64, so it will definitely run on a Pi 0 plain, $10 computer. And you just want to get the thing all set up and play with it. And go for it. Nice. 34 months. Awesome, Don. Thank you.
You want me to... I'm going to...
Is it still considered a standing ovation if it's just one person?
I mean, if she stood up for anything I did, I'd consider it a standing ovation.
Right.
She's standing and she's ovating. So
Right. I didn't know if it meant unanimous or if it was like any quantity is
I don't,
fine.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, the more the merrier. There's always the curmudgeons that sit and don't stand up anyway. But
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
kind of
know.
like there's a base hit, there's a home run, and there's a grand slam. Grand slam is still a home run,
Yeah, I mean,
but
she got
it's
that's a single. She's single.
yeah.
To follow your baseball metaphor.
Right. So that's where so back to what we were talking about, the card 3 device 0. I'm on the wrong screen. The card 3 device 0 is what we got from A record. I'm just kind of going through the setup from last week. And then we need a PTT method. And I'm using where did it go? I'm using the ICOM 705. So I have this PTT rig 3805, and that's a special number for the ICOM 705. And I Googled that. And then /dev/TTY ACM 0, which is the port for the ICOM 705 as it shows up in Linux. And my buddy Don showed me a trick to figure that out. It is dmessage-w, which shows you things as they come in, and then you plug the radio in, and it will tell you somewhere on the screen. It's already on the screen. There it is. All of this info here is from when the radio was plugged in. So we've got USB audio codec from Burr Brown. If you guys have an ICOM radio, you know that's the right thing. And then we have TTY ACM 0 and TTY ACM 1. And then you just have to pick one or the other of them until you know which one it is. And it's ACM 0. It's usually the lower one. What's Don saying over there? I'll say it's complicated. Yes, it is.
Also, is complicated.
And then after you do PTT, we're doing this over HF. You can do this over 2 meters or 70 centimeters. Over HF, you're limited to 300 baud. So I need to have my modem line set up, modem 300. And then this 1600, 1800 is the mark and space frequency, I believe. Again, I Googled that and it popped up. I know the 300 is right. I don't know why that's right. And obviously we can't do 9600 on HF.
Yeah, that's why you're setting
FCC.
That's why you're setting it to 1700, because your mark is on one side and your space is on the other.
Yep. And
Somebody said that
what else
last
do we
week.
need?
I don't want y'all to think I actually knew that.
You need to set your call sign. My call is KM9G. Direwolf does a ton of stuff. Direwolf is what you do APRS through. Direwolf is what we're going to be doing packet radio through tonight. This is the modem, the TNC, the terminal node controller that does all of the translation between computer and then bleeps and bloops that go out the radio. We will be doing a DigiPeter video coming up soon. I just want to be in range of another APRS station, or maybe just feel a little bit better about myself that day. I don't know. I think that's all the settings for Direwolf that you need, and then you do Direwolf-P. You should not have to do this as root. For some reason I did, and we will fix that, and that's what I'm waiting on to make the video on the getting started. And we are now configured. So we have determined cat speed of 19200. That's for my push to talk. That's the speed between my computer and the radio for cat control. AGW on port 8000, KISS TCP on port 8001. And then we also created a KISS TNC and a symlink to KISS TNC. Will this run in Pro Mix on a NUC? It will run on a NUC. I don't know what Pro Mix is, though.
Yeah.
Windows 11 Pro Mix.
I don't know. I've never heard that term. Gary, you need to explain that there, brother. Yeah, it'll run on a NUC because a NUC will run Windows. I've
NUC
got
is
the Windows
way
versions.
faster than a Pi Zero, so yes.
Yeah. I mean, dude, if it runs on a Pi Zero or, God help us, a Commodore 64, it'll run on whatever computer you've got sitting around. Yep. Even the one your granny plays solitaire on. Well, maybe. I think there's DOS versions available for this stuff.
And so you can see it's working. I got a packet there from old Chuck in EM73BR. And what Chuck is saying is I have a mailbox available if you'd like to send me mail at WJ4K-1. And from what I understand from my buddy Hamtill at Hertz, Scott K0WAV in the chat, he says that mail will forward and forward and forward until it gets to you. Autocorrect. Will this run?
Gary,
Proxmox.
yes.
Proxmox is a virtualization machine.
Containerized or something like that.
Yeah.
It'll run. If you can run an OS that can run an app, anything that'll run in Proxmox, this'll run.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we're already online and we're getting packets. That was easy. I'm at 14.105 lower sideband, which is odd for 14 megahertz, 20 meters, but that's what you do. This is lower sideband. Any predictions of when the FCC will let ham radio out of the 50s? So this is actually a really interesting thing. This is happening right now, Brian. The FCC has the ability to do it. They've already agreed to do it. They already have the wording to do it, etc. I see Frank on the packet modem, the X25 there on my screen. They just haven't done it. So now Congress is stepping up, and there's a couple of Congress people. Ham Radio 2.0 did a video on it, and Ham Radio Crash Course did a video on it, where the Congress people are actually going to force the FCC to do the thing the FCC already has the approval to do and just hasn't done. So talk to your congressperson after watching the videos to kind of know what to say to them, know what we're talking about.
I mean,
So Frank's
maybe
trying
they'll
to
get
connect
rid
me,
of
but I'm not connectable yet.
maybe they'll get rid of daylight savings time one of these days too.
Yeah. So now we've got the TNC, the terminal node controller, up and connected to the radio. I need to do this KISS attach line. And I don't want to kill it. I want to connect to it. So sudo kiss attach /temp /kiss tnc and then 1. So as before we do that, cat /etsy ax25 ax ports. Inside of this etsy ax25 ax ports file, I defined radio ID number 1 as KM9G-7 300 baud at 14105, and then it's a comment of 300 BPS. And that's radio number 1, and that is the 1 in the KISS attach line. And when we connect, we get this successful message, AX25 port 1 bound to device AX0. So now if I do if config, interface config, I should have a network interface called AX0 that is an address of KM9G-7. So we're making all kinds of progress. So now I should be able to do linpack. Before I do that, linpack.config. And it will tell me to connect on port 1. Whoops, wrong line. It'll tell me to connect on port 1 with a speed of 300, with a type of KISS, with a port of KISS TNC, which is, all of that is existing. So now, let's run linpack-m. I think it's -m. I think so. And then, Jimmy, your station's up and running still?
No, I can fire it back up. I turned it off because I figured you're going to get pounded by the chat, so I'd let them pound you.
Okay.
Radioically speaking, just say.
Frank, try it again. KM9G-7. See if it works.
So that SSID, the dash number.
Mm-hmm.
We probably talked about this last week. I'm sure Lon said something about it. Refresh my memory. Is your mailbox -7 and -1's the chat, or what is that?
So there's
what does that mean?
Yeah, there's not an official documented convention. There's kind of an agreed upon convention. I think it's -7 is mail and -11 is chat and -1 is BBS or whatnot. But it all depends on the station operator, the guy who made the server, as to what he makes listen on what station ID.
So it's kind of a but it's kind of a convention.
Yeah, it's a convention, not a
rule. Okay.
Yeah.
Because as Steve and I had this up earlier, and I was also talking to Scott, Ham Till It Hurts. Unfortunately, fortunately for me, my wife had just finished cooking jambalaya, which is way more interesting than playing radio, just saying. And so I'm like, okay, love you, mean it, got to go by. But I could never get the mail to send to Steve. I did a message to Steve. And I tried KMG, KMG-1, KMG-7. They all just sat there and never went. I'm beaconing, and Steve and I, as well as Scott and I, had a two-way conversation going on at 300 baud, like on a Commodore 64 from 1986. And it was cool. Scott saying the SSID is used to shortcut you to a service running on the station.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And this is a great question right here. Jeff is asking, what if you are chatting but want to identify as a mailbox?
Jeff, you
I
don't
don't.
need my approval. Do it however you want.
I mean, you identify as whatever you want, Jeff Rowe. I don't. I think he's kind of serious there too. I mean, because that was the problem I see is I couldn't figure out, am I even the mail here on my computer was just sitting there. There was no send button, so I assume every time I beacon, it's going to go, hey, I need to send this mail to KM9G, and I know he was connected, but it never went or did anything. So I'm
Frank, I don't know why it didn't work for you, but I did get something from K6NKO and my radio went into PTT mode. So maybe I'm connecting to K6NKO instead? Or maybe I'm still configured wrong. Frank says I'm not behaving. I don't doubt it,
well.
Frank.
Cliff said I'm throwing out the easy ones. No, I gave up packet radio during the Reagan administration and haven't.
Right?
Why on God's earth would I do packet radio, son?
Frank, just try regular KM9G and see if that works. There you go. David says, Network
Whiskey
105
Tango
group
1
requests.
whiskey.
Users adhere to the following. -1 for mailbox, PBBS. For gate 7 for KA node, NOS node, NetROM, KNet, NOS node, all nodes. There you go. I see Frank online now. Frank is now connected.
Well, that's non-optimal.
So now I'm transmitting back to Frank, and my radio is PTTing like mad doing something.
I have to remember how to use this radio. It's been a minute. I don't use HTs very often, like Don.
Okay. Frank said he was able to connect as KM9G without any station identifiers, and that's probably me. I haven't set it up. Probably my fault. Frank, you should have seen my chat message go out to you by now. I'm looking in the debug window. This is Ghostman on the video. Good signal. Let's see if I have KD4CHW. I do. It took me a while. So this is interesting. At the bottom, you can see Frank KG6NLW-1, and then you can see KD4CHW, which is Ghostman DKA. And I'm like, how do I get to tab 2? So I hit F2 on the keyboard, and you get to tab 2. So this is actually multi-threaded.
So I should be able to connect in as well.
You should. And Frank disconnected.
You offended Frank.
I did. And then Devin Eskridge is saying my BPQ node also runs VARA, and that's true. So there are a lot of stations out there that are running multiple modes and will answer and will also forward on your behalf or connect from you through them to somebody else, and that's all new stuff to me. So you can have only 8 conversations. And Chris, I don't know. This is day 1. Let's see. Did my message get sent to Ghostman? So I had to receive that twice in order to get it all the way. And it looks like there it is. It's sent on my end. And then, there we go. Let's see. He replied. Name is Tommy. Hi, Tommy. Hope you're enjoying the RV life. Tommy, I am enjoying the RV life. And then Frank is connected again. Let's see if Frank was able to say something. Welcome, Frank. Hello again, Frank. So now you need to get tech support on the line and figure out how we can do mail, Jim.
I'm trying to get mine turned back on. Let's see. trying to figure out where the hell I put easy term. None of this stuff installs. So you
Not in the start menu.
Yeah, no, not at all. And I thoughtfully moved it somewhere where I could find it again, except I'm not entirely sure where
we've
that
got
is.
WJ4K connected also. Let's see what's shaking over there. Easy term from UZ7HO. Works great and is current. Just asking, isn't this an extension of last week's show? Yes, it is.
There are 2 different easy terms in the world, by the way.
Should we see how many can reliably connect? Sure, everybody connect, is what Tommy said. And WJ4K says, can't figure out how to send mail. Neither can I. So it says //I for info. Let's try that. Maybe that's you. Maybe I'm getting info from you. Maybe you type //I to get info from me. My radio's going crazy. Oh, that was a long transmission. Jim, I see you connected.
Hola.
Hola, Jim.
Yeah, now, so this is, my radio is transmitting just constantly on, off, on, off.
Yeah.
It doesn't transmit for a long time.
Hey, Vern. Vern, are you going to be hanging out with us for POTA at Huntsville State Park this Saturday?
Scott, I'll try, but it gets really hard to try and talk to someone on the radio, listen to this and not talk over Steve and actually understand what either one of y'all are saying. We can do that if we have to, but it's not optimal.
My mailbox is -2 if you want to connect. Haven't done anything but assign the -2 to it, though. Scott, I don't know. Tommy, I don't know how to do that. And Frank, I see you're connected, but we're not making any progress. Jim has responded to my hello, Jim, with hola.
Yeah, actually, you sent me a welcome as soon as I connected to you.
That's the software doing that automatically.
Well, I took it for you. I mean, you're a friendly kind of guy, right?
I am. I'm the ambassador.
Ambassador. Oh, so many jokes write themselves with that term.
Maybe get Simon on here to make Packet Radio exciting. Woohoo! Simon from Ham Jazz. Simon reminds me of Steve Irwin.
Yes.
The crocodile hunter.
Except Simon is conflicted because he lives in Canada, but he's an Aussie.
Right. If it is spelled correctly from me, then it is automated. Right, Ryan?
Whiskey Tango 1 whiskey. I'm afraid I haven't had this thing turned on in a hot minute. And it doesn't look like I'm transmitting.
Yes, succinct messages are definitely the way to go, Gary. This is 300 baud. You could literally spell faster than this, including spelling errors and corrections.
I know a couple people we know who can't, but that's...
FEP Labs didn't come across on Toad, so your radio, your HT is not making the trip.
Yeah, no,
yeah, Simon from Ham Jazz, Paperwork Ninja.
I can see it here that it's not doing it.
Crikey.
It says my hotspot
radio
is
just
linked
went into transmit.
I see Scott was the last one that transmitted.
Gorgeous.
Maybe I need more power.
Liberty Cave,
Oh,
I don't know why we didn't mention Adams Dennis's voice the other day. Awesome. Vern says he will be there on Saturday. So it will be me and my beautiful bride, and Evan Baccarat, and K8MRD, and T-Ray so far. Huntsville State Park, noon on Saturday. All right, so we're going to make this a little more interesting. Jim, can we do a giveaway? What do you think?
I think that would be a capital idea because YSF is thwarting me right now.
Vern and his beautiful wife will be there. So I have a talk pod. Where is it? I have a talk pod radio. This is the improved fixed version. You know how they fixed it? They sent it to you locked to GMRS. I have a video on how to unlock it, but they sent it to you locked on GMRS. So it's to GMRS radio only, which is what it's supposed to be. The one that they sent Hayden and I, if you weren't following along with the saga from a long time ago, was that they sent us one that was unlocked and it transmitted on all bands, and people got excited and bought one, but it was really dirty on all bands. Talk POS. I like that, Randall. This is not a great radio. It's not a bad radio. It's just not. It's not TO approved, if you will. It's dirty on 2 meters, and it's a $50 radio. You get $50 worth of radio out of it. It's not bad for that purpose. Scott is saying the simple mailbox that you and TO do not forward mail out. They are the water cooler where everyone comes to converse. Understood. And this is U.S. only. Jim has the dingus up. Let's see what the word is. The phrase that pays, GMRS Talk Pod. Type it all out, all one word, all lowercase, in the chat. Could be yours.
Now I see Scott. I see Scott right now sending me -6 messages.
Okay.
Over and over, but I'm connected to you, so I don't know how that works.
All right, I'm connecting to Scott now.
Oh, I gotta set up easy term again.
Hamstick Eric wants to talk pod. This would be a fantastic receiver for APRS. I understand it does airband receive. It has a pretty wide range of frequencies that it does. I did 3 or 4 videos on it. Talk poo. I like it, Ron. GMRS talk poo. It won't win. You're a winner in my heart, but it won't win the radio.
Turd pod?
He said talk poo. Yeah, same difference.
Same difference.
Where in Huntsville? Huntsville State Park, Huntsville, Texas, just to be precise about it, is what Brian is asking. Where in Huntsville? Huntsville State Park. And Ham Radio Tectonics is saying, I don't want it, but I want to throw the dice. So if you want to throw the dice, go ahead and toss it in there. And if it's you, just say ham it forward, and we will roll the dice again.
Or give it to someone that you're not really close friends with.
111 watching, 54 entries. We're getting close. Let's get to 60, and then we'll hit the button. You can't win if you don't play. Dennis, if you do win, you might not have won. Oh, and this is the clear one, too, I think. 56, 59, one more. Yes, this is the clear one. This is your prison radio. All prison electronics must be see-through so that you don't smuggle stuff inside the prison electronics case. We're at 60. Hit that draw button, Jim.
Doing it. Round and round she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows.
Oh, wouldn't that be funny if N8YO won it? Christopher Schultz. Schulte?
Schulte, I would believe.
If he was a hockey player, Schultze.
Or if he was on Hogan's Heroes, right?
Right? Christopher Schultz, you know what to do. Give me your call sign in the chat. Let me know if you're good on QRZ, and I will get it sharpified so I know it's yours. Congratulations. They are clear so we can see no parts have been taken out of them. Generally to be sharpened. And my man Liberty Cave would know because he wrote the manual on this stuff. Come on, Chris. Come on, Christopher. Warm up that keyboard, Chris. All right, while we're waiting for that, there's another big message up here. Alexander says the remote commands can be disabled using the command :remote off and are enabled by remote on. You can also specify only some commands to be available for remote users. Let's see where we're at. I was trying to connect, but I think it might be too busy for me to connect. Let's try again. Channel already connected. Let's ask for help.
You and I are, well, we were connected. You dumped me.
No, I still, well, now you're gone.
I had to restart Easy Term because
not many
reasons.
Condolences, Chris, right?
Now on UHF, if I remember right, first of all, on UHF there's no standard, and I did not test that radio, but I think Ape did on UHF, and on UHF it doesn't look like crap.
Christopher, I'm going to need something a little more, confident than should be good on QRZ, because I'm going to drop some postage on there. Typing in my chat messages in Braille. Oh, excellent. Grayman Poto, you won the ability to connect to us on Packet Radio. Are you all set up on Packet Radio?
Red, a good Hot Pocket, or a strawberry Pop-Tart.
Ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. Oh, Vern has a MobiLink brand new. Vern, which version of MobiLink is that? All right, so where are we now? We need to connect and send some mail somehow. Scott, K0WAV, Scott, help us out.
Oh, I just got connected to by the mic.
MobiLink TNC3. Chris Radio in Life is asking, is this RTTY? This is not RTTY. This is Packet Radio, AX.25.
Back in the 80s and probably before,
Type BBS.
there was BBSs that ran over AX25.
Well, that's what we're trying to do with Scott here. BBS.
Yeah. I have no idea why my radio will not connect to the hotspot, but it sure won't. And I'm not going to try and debug it on the show. So, and the other radios are behind the green screen, which would require me to drop the green screen, take out my ears, turn off the camera, yada, yada, yada. So we're not going to do that. Yes, Frank,
right,
my packet is up, son.
We got you. No problem. And then K9EI Matt is saying, is it MobiLink or MobiLink? And actually, to be pedantic, since you asked, it's MobiLink with a D on the end of it. So I typed in the BBS, and we're trying to get it to work.
That's right, Tim. I didn't know when they dropped it because I haven't been using Cisco in a while, but they used to support it.
All right, what's up with Six? Fantastic YouTube channel, great human being to know, and a beautiful wife as well. Miss Renee is a fantastic person also. Wants to give away a MobiLinked TNC3, Jim.
I think that's awesome. Let me set that up. And let me also say, I got to meet Renee and Vern at
Huntsville.
Was it Huntsville? Yeah.
Yep.
And you're not sharing this, right?
I'm not sharing what? Your screen? No.
The giveaway screen.
No. I'm still sharing my Linpack screen.
And I'm going to say that Vern kicked out of his coverage because she's really nice.
I'm telling you, we had this conversation the other day on one of our live streams. If you get your ham radio license, you automatically marry up. It just happens that way.
I mean, I like Vern a lot. I'm just saying, the man kicked out of his coverage.
Yeah.
All right.
So Brian is asking a question while you're getting that set up. Let's
It's
see.
ready to go.
Does LinPack not honor the environment settings for lines and columns, or are they not set? Lots of screen real estate wasted with that 80 by 24 output. So Brian, actually, what's happening is we have the chat above on the top here. And then we have the command and control window in the middle. And then down here in the bottom where there's nothing is actually where, if there were error messages, you'd see error messages and things. I've just been error free so far today. So there's actually a reason for this. And there probably is some configuration setting I can go through. This is minute 17 of working LinPack. So let's do, B Moby linked exclamation point. With capital B. Type it away, boys. And girls. US only, right, Vern? You tell me.
Well, I figured we'd pay postage for Vern. Since he's giving it away, we can eat the postage.
Then US only it is. It's a series of AX25 size tubes. I love it. It scrolled off the screen.
That's great. That's great.
Aaron, that's awesome.
Shane has just dropped a super chat on us. Schulte, the winner, is a blind ham and a very good friend of mine. Yay for him. You guys should give away a Yesu hat. Well, Shane,
awesome.
If we had Yesu hats, I ain't got nern. That's Southern for none. Nern.
Excellent. So Shane and Christopher, this is actually pretty interesting. What will happen is this radio speaks out when you go into the menu. It says menu 1, transmit power, and then you pick, your option high, low. So it'll actually be very helpful for you, I think. I don't know if it does. I think when I was doing my demo of it before, it didn't speak every single menu item, but it did speak most menu items. So excellent
Shane,
stuff.
also I saw it's B, capital BE, MOBILINKD exclamation point. And this thing is case sensitive and spelling sensitive, which is why Joe Brett never wins nothing in these things. So, because I see Joe Brett has done slipped up in here.
Jim can't even get an adult size Flex hat after spending enough to buy a car. That is
Right.
what Flex costs. That is
Right.
true.
I don't want to sound like I'm, flexing. No pun intended on that one.
Right.
Man, my first 4 or 5 cars didn't cost as much as this radio. Together.
My first car was sub $1,000.
Yeah, my first car was $300.
Yep.
My second car was $275.
I sold my first car for $100. Only if I knew then what I know now. We got 62 entries. Hit it, Jimbo.
I had a 68 Bug that I got rid of and then ended up buying a 75 Nova, and that was a downgrade from the Bug. Round and round she goes. SFJF26.
Oh, there we go.
Is that a U.S. address?
So real quick, since we have this up, I think it was Brian that was talking about the screen real estate. So there's the error messages that show up on the bottom of the screen. That's why the screen's formatted the way it is. Let's go back to our winner. SFJF26. Congratulations.
Let me look
Gonna
him up.
need call sign and address. I don't know if that's a call sign. It could be.
What was that? SFJF26.
Liberty Cave is correct. I bought 5 houses and all my cars for less combined than a new truck would cost. I remember when trucks were cheaper than cars.
Yeah, that's
And now
not a
trucks
valid.
are cheaper than houses. Sometimes. Chris is asking, are there any deaf ham radio operators out there? Just curious. My wife is deaf, and with digital modes, deaf could certainly do radio. I believe there is.
You'd have to. Well, I mean, that's where TTY came from,
Yes.
right?
Teletype. Yep.
Teletype machines. Our TTY is radio teletype, but it's based on the same technology as teletype. And the phone company's been making TTY adapters for POTS phones forever. I mean, I remember seeing that stuff back in the 70s. So I would imagine there's things you could do for that.
KU2FU, good on QRZ. Where is it?
I got it. I'm pulling it up.
All right, I just sent you
Sean.
a note in the back chat so we have it.
Okay.
Maybe we can pick up mail by connecting to my -1. Chuck, let me try it.
He's in New York. I have a message sitting here for you.
Anyway, I was trying to connect to -2.
Yeah, I talked to him.
I think my LinPack crashed is what that message says. Let me add that back to the stage. No LinPack. So let's do LinPack-M.
Chris Bricker, I suspect that if you Google, you will find software that will do the same function. Because TTY is not new technology. I mean, it's been around literally for, 50 years that I can personally tell you about, and probably longer than that. A telex is a TTY device, and telexes have been around for probably damn near 100 years. I would bet you can find software that'll do speech to text. Well, it's got to be. Your phone does it.
And this happened earlier, and this might be something going on with my Raspberry Pi, because I might not be providing it enough power. I think my Pi just froze because I'm not able to connect to it anymore. Or it changed networks to a network I'm not on.
You should tumbler your DDP, Jim. Oh, no, son. It has to be drank out of a plastic bottle. It's not right out of any other container.
Jim's very religious like that.
I kind of am. I drink my beer out of a bottle or a can, too. I don't...
Hard power cycle my Pi.
I mean, unless I'm in a fancy restaurant that has glasses or something. But and Aaron Barnard, Chris, said old TTYs can still get on the air. So, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That'd be kind of cool. Remember, you're not deaf. I'm pretty sure that thing is not going to be quiet.
Right. So this is the man you want to talk to if you have any questions, because he is blind, like he says, and he is deaf, and he is awesome. This is my friend Shane, and Shane has his own YouTube channel called Adventures in Blind Videography, and that would be the great way to reach out to him is on his YouTube channel, and he'd be able to help you out. Shane has an awesome personality and is fantastically willing to help people out.
And we met Shane at Huntsville. Great guy, very outgoing, super friendly. Seemed clean, just saying. Was well washed. Didn't smell like, didn't smell like an old guy. Nothing like that. And don't tell Shane that he's blind, because he does not realize that.
Yeah, I don't think he knows.
Mm-mm.
All right, my Raspberry Pi is rebooting.
Matt Wolf has an old Cantronics KPC3 from 25 years ago. Yeah, son, it'll work if you can wire it.
Yes.
You'll probably have to build a cable, because I'm sure that has a 25-pin, a DB25 on it.
And if the battery inside hasn't gone dead, you probably still have some old mail on it waiting for you. I do have one of those. It's in the back of the truck. I'm waiting to get it cleaned up and get it connected to something. There was a trick where you take that big heavy metal case off of it and stick a 9-volt battery on it and launch it into the air with a helium balloon at like your field day event or something, and it would be your APRS repeater, your local repeater for sending text messages back and forth to other people at field day, sent around different parts of the park or something like that.
No, I am not sniffing people. I want to make that clear. But an odor did not arrive with Shane. Y'all ever been to one of these major ham fests? I'm going to say, as a people, probably 30% of us are unwashed.
Worst. Some of us can even pronounce English words properly.
That was a little Chicago for you.
Really? Oh, I hate it when it does that.
James, this
Alright,
is
so-
Nuggets. Everything requires a reboot midstream. It's like a rule here.
All right, I need to connect that. It booted up on the other network, so now I need to connect it back to this network.
Yes, Chris Bricker, I'm from up by Chicago. NAYO. Blessed be his name. The great
Right.
bird of the galaxy.
Let me get this shared out so y'all can see what I'm doing.
Ted thinks 30% is generous for the unwashed.
Ready to go. This window.
Oh, and I'm apparently getting DM'd in Discord.
All right. There are too many windows open, too many things going on.
It's a lot. That's why I kind of really don't like messing with the radio, the HT, because this gets to be just...
WPA, CLI. -I WLAN 0 list networks, and then copy and paste the network name. This is the name of my local RV park. WPA CLI -I WLAN 0 select _ network. Paste. And that will instantly disconnect me as it switched networks. So now I can share out my other screen instead.
LC, I think Chuck is going to be at Pacific Con.
He is, yep.
And I would bet Adam Dennis might be there too.
And it's going to complain because my audio interface is gone. And that's why I showed you that A record -L. So it's card 1 now and device 0. So let's change it to 10. And I forgot the -P.
Something has gone sideways here because I don't seem to be beaconing anymore.
And then we're on the KISS attach line, and then we can do the LIN pack. I think it's -M. Hey, there it is. :CK0 WAV dash. No, we wanted to do Chuck. Where's Chuck? Chuck was W4K something. Chuck, what's your new call sign? I don't have it memorized yet.
Oh, yeah. I barely remembered Chuck's old call sign, and then he changed it on us.
And then Chuck showed up at Huntsville Hamfest, and he catfished us. He sent us a younger picture of him on Toad's Discord.
Yeah, I was like, who's the
as his
old guy?
avatar. He's like, "Hey, I'm Chuck," and I'm like, "What? No, you're not."
WJ4K.
Yep, I just found it. as well. WJ4K. And now, let's see.
Ghost Man, I've thought about going to Stone Mountain, but that is my birthday weekend. Not that I'm going to do anything.
Oh, yeah, you got a birthday coming up.
Yeah. You just had a birthday.
I did this past weekend.
And you are 50 yet? You don't look 50.
No, I don't look 50.
45.
I'm close. Yeah, somewhere between 45 and 50.
47.
Close enough. All right. Now, I think I'm connecting.
I think somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Connected to WJ4K. Let's try BBS. I don't think that's going to work, but that's like the only one of 3 commands I know.
Thank you guys for the birthday wishes. We're both getting birthday wishes.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Marvin.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dennis. I don't sound 50. Thank you, Shane.
Ghost Man, how big is the Stone Mountain Ham Fest? Because it's like a 3-hour drive for me to go there, and it needs to be at least half the size of Huntsville.
I got an answer. WJ4K-1. I don't know what to do with that, but there it is. Chuck, how do I check mail? Is what I'm trying to learn, and I'm kind of crowdsourcing here. And how many grandkids? 2 so far that I know of. Shane hit 50 on July 28th. Congrats. Happy birthday, Jim. It's 17% the size of Huntsville.
Dennis is making that up. As far as I know, this last Huntsville was the first time Dennis has been east of the Mississippi. Yeah, Ghost Man, Montgomery's is in the Shriners Hall, and
I might have to disconnect and reconnect.
If I go real slow, it takes an hour to look at everything twice. I mean, it's not big at all.
Ken, thank you. Happy birthday, guys. Don't spend it all in one place.
Thank you, Ken. Awesome.
No, call -1.
So,
okay,
Steve,
you,
we can get a medium-sized coffee with that and split it.
2 straws.
2 straws. That's right. We are not sharing straws.
Oh, that did a big long command. I saw my waterfall go crazy.
Vern is out of here. He said, gotta run, youngsters. Vern, I think I'm older than you. You geezer.
Quartzfest is good. Gary says he's got 16 grandkids. Holy moly, Gary. You were very prolific. And so were your children. Congratulations.
Right, Taylor?
WJ4K is saying disconnect and try again with -1. So let's do...
With -1, okay.
Disconnected. Then we do CWJ4K-1. Vern says you are not older. 762 Canadian. Thank you, Jody. Happy birthday, gents. May your noses continue to serve you well at Hamfest. Thank you. Opinions are like noses. Everybody has one. Some of them smell.
Cooley said he's 66. I'll be 61 in 2 weeks. So, Vern, am I or aren't I? I know we're both. Not. I know he says we're not, but I guarantee it's like.
All right, Glenn, g'day. Just woke up, not sure what this is. Glenn, we don't know either. This is Packet Radio, and we're trying to build on what we did last week and actually do something with it. And now I am connected to WJ4K Chuck with an SSID of 1, and it says enter command. I have 1 unread personal message, BKLRS or help. Buddy. Oh, no, you are older than Vern.
I knew I was. I was almost positive I was.
I'm going to assume L is list. Maybe I should type help.
Ron dropped us a don't share the coffee and get a couple donuts super chat. Awesome. Ron, thank you, man. That's awesome.
Thank you, Ron. Donuts.
You get this.
Excellent. The
cute library lady stood up for you, Ron.
Yes. All right, so we are making progress. I have now listed messages. Before I accidentally delete the message, I'm going to type help. Because I don't see anything that says, well, R, maybe R for read. So R2, read 2. The delete commands are K or KM, because K, definitely mnemonic for delete. Got it. Read commands R or RM, so let me do R. And I'm going to say R2, because I think I'm smart enough to take a leap of faith on that one. Read number 2. Because if I just say R, it's probably going to say, what message would you like to read? And that's going to be like 7 or 8 minutes. Oh, I was right. R2, read message 2. Date time 10/16/23 in the wrong date format. Chuck is chicken to see if this thing works. So now, I guess send. Let's do help again.
Rick Henderson, thank you very much.
Woohoo! Happy birthday,
He has
old man.
14 grandkids and 1 great grand. The winning
Holy
card.
moly!
By Pumpkin Spice Creamer. No, Rick. Other than that, thank you, but no.
I could go for hazelnut creamer. Thank you. Happy birthday, old man. 73 from Renee and Vern. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, y'all. Sixes, y'all have a great evening. And next
Okay,
time,
so
Vern, don't argue with your elders.
Right. Is there a
Oops.
Eric, it was no accident. I said ope on purpose.
Opa.
Likely need to use SP for send personal. Okay, so let's do SP for send personal. SP, and let's let it tell me what to do.
T-Ray.
1363. Thank you very much, T-Ray. Happy birthday, fellas. Awesome.
Appreciate it, T-Ray.
Ha ha ha. Oh, this is gonna be funny. I can see you and old Rick there. You're no longer allowed to argue with Rick because he's older than you.
Oh, I was just talking to Vern. I don't know nothing about you.
No, you said don't argue with your elders. So
I
now
know, but
Rick
that was
has
because I was
taken
talking
that
to
straight
Vern.
up. Oh,
Rick
okay.
will argue with a fence post anyway, so I don't.
That's true. All right, so it says when I did SP, it says require recipient. Okay, so SPWJ4K-1. Enter title. Success. I think that's how you spell success.
See, those commands don't work with easy term.
I'm just typing them in the command window.
Yeah, I'm trying them, and they don't.
End
It
with
doesn't work the same way.
/EX or Control Z. So keep on sucking until you succeed. And that /EX is probably going to need to be on its own line. No, I guess not. I think it sent it. See if I get a response back. What's old Jody saying? You're only allowed one birthday per quarter, no matter how many super chats you get. Jody, these streams are dated.
And we can make them
Eventually
disappear, so there's no evidence. I'm just saying.
Eventually, you might catch me on a live stream on my birthday.
You did this SP and then the 2 call sign.
SP and then the call sign, yes.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I did this SPWJ4K-1. And it looks like it's still sitting there. Let's do /EX on its own line. Because it should have gave me an ACK. All right. Message 3, size 38, saved. All right, Chuck, you should have a message. We have now successfully sent and received email like it's 1980.
Yeah. Wow. AOL's calling. They want to know how you did that.
Scott is saying you don't need the station identifier, the SSID, in the to field. Okay.
Oh, snap. Hamstick.
Can't tell you the last time I went to Golden Corral.
I haven't been to Golden Corral since I was riding the bus for a job. We would go there because we could eat fairly quickly. Usually on Sunday, because that was the only time we had enough downtime to sit down and eat for more than 15 minutes.
Yusuf's in the house. Metro Atlanta Ham Radio. Go over and check out his YouTube channel. That man has got energy to spare.
I get tired watching Yusuf.
Not because he's boring, but because he wears you
No.
out with his energy. Good stuff.
Yeah. Now he was all in on the 6100, right?
Yep.
But I think he's gotten a divorce.
From the 6100, he's got a 706 Mark II G. He's got a G90.
No, I think
and
he
he's
got
got
a
an
599.
857.
I thought he got a Lab 599
He might.
and divorced his 6100.
Golden 12.
OMG.
James Hannibal is here, and so is Derek. Welcome, Derek.
Derek, hadn't seen you in a hot minute, brother.
I was kind of worried that James was going to show up. So while we're going through this, before we get too far, Chuck, it worked at this end. I was going to ask you if you got it.
Oops.
Oh, hang on. He says, I was going to ask if you got it, so he has received the message from me, but it didn't give me back any command that said you got it. Or Chuck, send me a new message. See if it just notices that we're still connected and sends me a notification that you sent me a new message, please.
Scott's saying, when W4JK visits the mail server, he will see that he has new mail. Likewise, the beacon will let beacon out that he has mail in the UI beacon.
And UI is unnumbered information, so it's just going to be a packet without a destination call sign? I think that's what it is.
I was mistaken. Apparently, his side girl is his main chick now. He's a G90 man.
Right. So James is my friend from Quirky QRP. James has some fantastic products on his Etsy store, Quirky QRP, and I highly recommend him. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, James, please close your ears because I have another giveaway here, and this is from Club Gear Online. And this is some stuff that you guys might recognize if you are familiar with Quirky QRP, but it is not Quirky QRP stuff. It is another type of reference mat. And this guy, Club Gear Online, is a POTA guy. And so he's got some POTA memorabilia and stuff on his website. And he's got these nice hard, this is aluminum, brushed aluminum.
I'm gonna embiggen you, son. There you go.
With some etching on it for the band plan and very simple, easy to read. Maybe stick this on the inside lid of your Go box or something. Easy to read format. It's got 60 meters, 160. It's got all the bands all the way up to 20 meters. So lots of the popular bands that are out there. And again, that's aluminum, and there's no sticky on the back. You got to sticky it yourself. And if you're not an extra, there's a card in there that's the same thing. That's kind of a wallet-sized card for general operators. And then he's got one of these Wheel of Fortunes for how to do the conversion maths for...
We know a
lots,
ham
lots,
with
amps,
no
and
name who
ohms.
could use that occasionally.
Yes. And just in case you're wondering where to get this, it is clubgearonline.com. I'll have a video coming out with some more information on this stuff. And there you have it. So that is available for you if you type in the words, not as quirky. James, I love you, brother.
Or Notice Squirky. Take your pick.
Notice quirky. That back in the bag.
You know, we got the James gang in here tonight because we have KI5 OEB and we have James Hannibal and we have James Perry. The James gang. Just saying.
No new message yet, Chuck.
I'm probably going to leave mine up and screw around with it from work. I got to work on editing some video tonight, but
And if you do receive this, U.S. only, please. If you do receive this, and you are a general and not an extra, or an extra and don't care about the general part, then feel free to ham it forward any part of the kit that you're going to get that you don't like. Maybe share it with friends at the club. Not a QWERTY, not a turkey.
While we're waiting on these guys to try and spell not as quirky, or not a squirky, take your pick. We need to make a quick ad to pay the bills.
Okay.
We have 6 AIOC boards left. These are the
Oh.
DIY models. We have been selling these for $12 a piece, or 3 for $32. Right?
So a little bit of a discount there.
A little bit of a discount. So there's 6 available right now, and then we are sold out and may or may not have any more. Scott, I think it's 7. I don't entirely know that I have the software set up right yet. I'm seeing messages, and I'm hitting PTT because I see beacons and y'all talking to each other, and I did the chat thing. So I don't know. I mean, I think we could make a deal for 6 of them. Steve, what is your thoughts?
I think
on
we
that?
could do that too. Yeah, message us on the Discord directly, and we'll get you a special Discord slide into my DMs price on that one.
Yep.
What I will say is do the 3-pack. So here's the cool thing. This is surface mount soldering, and it's pretty difficult surface mount soldering to do. So it's a good way to practice. And if you practice and you get it right, you have a functioning, useful AIOC board. And 2 more chances. And if you screw it up the first time, you have 2 more chances to get it right. If you screw up the second time, you have 1 more chance to get it right. If you screwed up the third time, well, that's on you.
Right. And if you buy all 6 for our special price that you have to contact us to get, you got 6 chances to not screw it up. Right. I will tell you, it is not easy. If you do SMD soldering on a regular basis, good on you. But this is also smaller than like SMD resistors and capacitors and inductors. This chip is about 1 millimeter square. There's a picture of it in position on the website, on the AIOC listing on our website, coffeeandhamradios.com. But you ain't going to solder this with pop screwdriver size soldering iron. It's not going to work. And you can't
James
say,
asking,
I got a small tip. It ain't going to work either. You're going to have to use hot air. Regardless of the tip size.
Why do I need the board? So need is a good question. It's a ham radio thing. That's why.
It's cool.
That's the short answer. But longer answer is you can use it to do data modes like what we're doing tonight on the show with your 2-meter Kenwood style connector radio. Or you could also do programming if the radio itself does not have its built-in USB serial converter UART chip thing. If you do have one of those radios like the BTEC 6x2 that has the built-in UART, you can still do the data mode stuff. You just can't do the programming stuff. Is it SOT 523 size? Jody, we are not qualified to answer that question.
Jody,
Chris,
I answered your question in the chat.
Oh, fine. Yeah, all right. That's perfect answer for Jody. Chris says, I might just take it into work and solder it. Chris, if you buy these things at our special 6-pack discount price, and you take them into work and solder them, and you get them all working, you could resell them each for the individual price that you paid for the 6-pack price. Mm-hmm.
And guys, we are selling these things, these are the DIY models. And we've sold out of almost 100 of them, honestly, DIY. We've had only a couple people so far that didn't grasp the DIY part and didn't read the product description listing. And were surprised when they received a board with a chip taped on the back and the board was smaller than their cheaters would let them see.
All right, we hit 60. Hit that draw button.
But there's a lot of folks who have let us know that, and I just saw Ron in the chat, W4RH, said he did 3, got 3, and wore out the shine on his magnifying glass, but he got it done. So it is absolutely possible. Frankie.
Congrats, Frank. Frank gets the Club Gear Online kit. Where's your call sign, Frank?
He's K6N.
It's on there. KG6NLW.
Yeah.
KG6 NLW. And in my chicken scratch handwriting, the 6 and the G look the same. So I'm probably going to send it to some other guy in California instead. Awesome.
Joe Brett said, "Don't use your 1,000-watt, 1,000-degree Milwaukee heat gun either."
Right. Melt that thing right away. KG6NLW. Frank, message me in the Discord or tell me you're good on QRZ, and we will take it from there. He is good on QRZ. Awesome. Got that. All right. So Chuck was saying that he thinks that my Pi has locked up again. So Chuck, I did the list command, and it accepted it and put my radio into PTT. I'm going to do list again, and I'm in PTT again. So maybe I'm not hearing you. We got like 20 minutes left. Anybody know how to do node commands? Let's do LM, list mine. I read that message, but I didn't delete the message.
Go. Come on, go.
I guess I need to add it to the stage so y'all can see it. Oh, Hovercat's back.
She wants to get on the desk. And when she does, she knocks the camera and everything else around. Or you can just
WinLink
type
is taking us out.
LM to list your messages. LM, list mine.
Yeah, my message is getting wiped out by WinLink session just like everybody else's is. So let's take a look at what Direwolf is saying.
Sean, I bought a microscope and a video microscope, I guess is what you call it. T.O. did a video on his when he bought it.
Yeah.
And I bought one, and it is the only way I would have ever seen it. I have a magnifying glass. Y'all seen that one like Ape has? I was trying to use that and still had to have my face so close to the thing I was burning my nose. And without that video microscope, I never would have got it right.
All right, so the WinLink session just died. Let me see if I can transmit this thing out here. I see Frank is connected to Scott. I'm going to open a new window. I'm going to do :C K0WAV-11.
Yeah, that's not what I wanted.
It's trying. Somebody just sent a very weird message a couple of bars down on the band. It was a single vertical bar and then a widening V. Yep, I haven't heard back from Chuck yet. And I haven't finished connecting to Scott yet.
Jody, look up the part on the website. I have the part number listed. It's a MICSYM yada yada yada. I can't remember the rest of it. And I don't know package sizes at all. This was my first experience ever with SMD components. It's a QFN style chip, I think. So it's got the leads flush on the sides and they go underneath, and then there's a solder pad in the middle of the bottom of the thing too. I don't know if that's helpful or not. Not entirely sure what I just said.
Right.
Yes, Ken, you have to have freaking tweezers.
Yes. And the
it'll
normally closed tweezers are better than the normally open tweezers. Yeah. And then Bassman Jr., I have no idea what you are doing. That's what I get for being late. Yeah, we don't know what we're doing either, so don't feel bad. We're following up from last week's show where we actually got all the software configured, and I did a brief overview on what we did, a recap, if you will, a previously on Ham Nuggets. I should have said that. Now we're connected, and we've sent mail back and forth. We've connected to a couple of different users in the chat. We've sent messages back and forth over 300 baud packets. So we're just making progress. There was a net to check into tonight, but we already missed it by about 45 minutes. And I'm not properly connected. I got disconnected from Chuck. Disconnect, try again. Oops. Bryant, that's the spirit. That's what we're here for. We're just here to hang out and have fun and
Well,
shoot
yeah,
the
we
breeze.
are. Actually, that's exactly right. Yeah, see, Frank, I've stopped getting beacons from everybody. It's like I've gone dead. I don't know if I've lost 20 meters here or what.
All right, I'm still trying to connect here to Scott. And so if you don't have somebody that you already know to connect to and you bring up Direwolf and just let it ride, you'll start to get people's information on the screen that will start to tell you what they are.
Right. So now with the AIOC board, you could use that for this, right?
You could.
Because
Yep.
yeah, because it's essentially you could use sound modem or whatever on the Windows side, and then your setup on the Linux side would also work with the AIOC board.
Ken is correct. You do still have to listen to the band to see if somebody else is out there or not. And this frequency is in use with more than just AX25. Like people were saying, there's WinLink on here. There is Vara on here. What's the small aircraft? So Glenn is asking, what does this small aircraft thing mean? Inside of APRS, there is a symbol you can pick to be your graphical identifier on their APRS map if they're actually doing mapping. And one of the symbols is a small aircraft. You can do ambulance, you can do car, bicycle, running man, fire symbol, repeater tower. All right, so 105 is congested. We can QSY. Jim, what do you think?
Yeah, let's try 40.
Oh, that's going to require some effort on my part.
I'm just going to change frequency. What is the, is it 7140?
It's whatever we want to make it. We don't have to be on the, it should be 7.104 or 7.105, something like that. But we don't have to be on that
7105?
frequency.
71, let's see what 7105 sounds like.
So I have to stop transmitting, and then I have to turn my amp off, and then I have to manually change bands to 40. And then I need to change to 40 on my radio. 7107, Jim.
7107.
Yeah, it looks clear to me. And it's still lower sideband. So now I need to change modes and tune up my amp, tune up my tuner.
I got somebody at 7110.
Okay, well, that's above us. We're going lower sideband.
Yeah, we're going low.
than
It should be okay. I think he's a
Should be
little
good.
wide.
All right. So now I have QSY to 7107. Anybody want to join us on 7107? You are welcome to join us. And I am sending you a connect message.
Oh, I'm getting some weird flex message right now.
So the AIOC board needs some modifications. Chris, what modifications are you thinking about? We did run it with a Baofeng and it did work great. There's a couple of videos on my channel and a live stream. And you can join us at the Toads Discord. It is linked in the top of the chat if you're not already there. And there's a chat room in there where we talk about it. So if there's anything you'd like to add, Simon is there, the creator of it, and he is more than happy to add new stuff.
So this is oops. Dang it. Well, that's weird.
Your screen's just white on my side, Jim.
Yeah, I know. That's all it's showing up here too. Weird.
Someone needs to add Bluetooth to it. That would be nice.
I was going to share the Windows side, but both of the apps don't show up.
Right, Scott says he's on 7107. I'm going to try and connect to Scott again. :C.
There's people on 05 because I'm seeing traffic now.
-11.
I see a Linpack machine, and I see you trying to talk to Chuck.
That was a long transmit.
Yep.
I don't know why I'm trying to talk to Chuck. I guess that might be something from before. Or is Chuck trying to talk to me?
It's showing me
him.
from
Yep.
KM9G to Chuck, and now you're trying to talk to Scott on -11.
That's weird. So I said connect to WT1W, which is you, and it says connected to WJ4K. Maybe he connected to me instead.
I'm showing connected to KM9G right now. That is very strange. Somebody's got something typoed wrong because I'm showing connected to you. And I just sent you test.
Chuck, you just typed hello?
Nope, I typed
you
test.
You sent me test. Yeah, I'm not receiving you.
Oh, I see both of y'all. Oh, this opens up different tabs. I hadn't noticed that.
Chris, you have some awesome ideas for what to do with the AIOC. Definitely hit us up on the Discord, talk to Simon about it, and see what kind of magic you can make. That's pretty cool. More talented than I am.
This is the Windows apps. And I don't believe you can resize these very much. Well, maybe you can. So there's this is the mailbox, and this has been sitting there just forever. And then this is actual sound modem, which is the software, which is the software TNC. Yeah, I can't zoom it, man. It won't zoom. I'd have to change the monitor resolution down to something.
Oh. Something just broke. When's the next on-air poker night? James, we don't know yet. We got to kind of plan that out.
Yeah, I know you mentioned this to Chris, and I had pointed Chris toward the AIOC channel in Toads, and I know he's been talking to Simon a little bit in there too. So maybe we'll come out with AIOC V2. AIOC 2.0.
Oh, I did it wrong. All right, kiss attach is gone.
Cooley Toads
See if we
is
can
a
quit
Discord
Direwolf.
server, so we're everywhere in that Discord server.
Yep.
Do you have
every
an
channel in
invite
there,
on
we're
top
in
of
it.
the screen?
I do. On top of the
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah. Cooley, if you look up at the top of the chat up here, you'll see a invite to Toad's Discord.
Brought out the old kill -9. And I'm mixing up my kill all and my kill. 1693.
I love kill -9.
Glenn Aussie Ham Radio says, I thought you could get a cream to treat toads. No, you can't. Toads is the disease that keeps on giving. Yep.
I'd like to remind everyone that we also
And so
have... Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, there's something about the way that this thing happens that it the kiss attach happens at the kernel level, and it is not unregistering properly. So I'm going to reboot. I'm on Toads, but what is it? Nuggets. Sure, if that's where you want to chat. No, if you're talking about the AIOC board, what was Cooley talking about?
Cooley asked where we are on Toads. So I didn't know if he didn't know...
Hello, IT. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Hello, IT.
Right.
Have you tried turning it off and on
Whoops.
again? Hello, IT. Have you tried
Oh,
turning
you
it
guys
off
get
and
to
on
listen to
again?
that a couple, three
Hello,
times.
IT. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
I hate that setting.
It loops by default, yeah. Cooley was asking a question, which then led us to talk to him about Toads. Then he asked where we were on Toads. Now he's on Toads, and he wants to know if we're talking about it in Nuggets. Nuggets is as good a place as any, but I'm not sure what it was you were asking about. So I can't direct you any deeper than that. But again, if you join over there, then we'll tell you. We'll get you sorted. We'll get you in the right direction. Go ahead, Jim.
The Coffee and Ham Radios Black Tumbler. These are limited edition, as are all our tumblers. Once we do a color, we're not going to go back to it. We still have mauve, taupe, puce, lavender, and other colors that have names that only girls know available, coming, maybe, maybe not. You should get these while you can. These are $24.99 plus shipping and handling. And these are great tumblers. These things, the lid fits very tight on these rascals. It comes with an Arctic sticker inside. The lid fits very tightly, like I said, and then it has a flip top that is so tight so you can drink from it or seal that booger tight and your drink stays inside. And these are great. Stainless steel double wall vacuum insulated tumblers. Chartreuse. There you go. Yeah, the logo is on backwards because of camera hijinks. Just ignore that. It actually is printed correctly on the tumbler. See? I can tell it's right. So you can get these on coffeeandhamradios.com. .com.
.com. All right, I think that brings us to the end of the show. Jim, what do you think?
Please, for the love of God.
We made some progress.
I
We sent
thought
some
this
mail
went
back
pretty
and forth.
good. Yeah. So we can do several things with this that we didn't really talk about last week, so that's cool. And apparently WinLink is using the same frequencies. I didn't really know that.
Yeah.
And we're doing HF packet at 300 baud. So slow that you can see numbers form. And so if you're doing this on VHF or UHF, you run at 1200 baud or 96.
Depending on where you're connected. Yep.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so 1200 if you want to do APRS or if you want to connect to the International Space Station, because as a licensed ham radio operator, you can talk to astronauts and other people can't. Or you can do node to node at 9600. So like you and your own radio a couple of blocks down the street or something along those lines. 9600 BPS if your radio supports it. Lots of good stuff.
300 baud though is...
And then...
Ooh.
It's
and you
slow.
could also
Chris
send
Flugga
files
is
with
saying,
this too.
Would this work with the Cantronics KPC 3 Plus? Yes, it would. This is It's been laying around for about 15 years because that's when we last used packet radio. There's a lot of packet radio stuff going on. I need to learn more about it, but there's a lot of those things. Taylor, if you message us in the Discord,
we shipped to APOE. I thought I'd shipped you one. I shipped somebody one.
We will make that shipping happen, but there might be an extra charge on shipping just because of it. I know it's not foreign, but you and I both know that it is foreign.
Oh, it wasn't Taylor. No, we've shipped APOE. I know I have, and I've shipped a tumbler. I don't think it's as expensive. Yeah, Taylor, drop me a message in the Discord or email Coffee and Ham Radios and give me your address, a private message, and I'll look up what your shipping would be. But we can absolutely ship. We just don't do it by default. We treat all the overseas stuff as one-offs.
Excellent. So we did it. There's still more stuff to do. I still don't know how to do any of it, and that makes it a very interesting show to kind of play along and figure stuff out. And we're going to play around some more. I don't know what we're doing next week. Maybe we're going to do a scanner with an RTL SDR. What was the other idea I had today? Idea?
I don't know. I have to go back and look at our chat.
Yeah.
We're going to play with RTL SDR dongles and scanners.
DSD Plus, yep.
DSD Plus, and let's see, I'm looking right now.
Grayman Poto, you're correct. It should be treated as domestic mail, but as early as last week when I sent something APO AE with a destination that was actually Germany, I had to fill out a customs form and pay about twice the price. Is Kyle streaming tonight?
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know. If he
That's
is,
it. I don't see anything else, Steve.
Tell your Kyle All right, folks. Have a good one. Thank you, Jim. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. We will see you next week.